welcome to tonight's SHAC meeting. I appreciate your attendance. Per usual, I'm greatly pleased that you guys were able to make it because I know you're all super busy. I know we may have a few others that come in here a little late, and we'll get them in. And as a reminder, we're recording because I save all of the SHAC information to our website. Remember, the legislative update requires me to post within 72 hours, post our video, post our minutes, and post our attendance. And so I'll get that done, just like I have for the other two meetings from the fall semester. Wanted to share real fast where all that information is so that you can see it. If we go to our West ISD website, can someone give me a thumbs up? Dr. Crowder, since I see you right underneath me, are you seeing the West ISD website? All right, great. All right, if you go to community and you go down where it says SHAC, and then you click on where it says agendas and minutes, you can see everything from the October meeting, the November meeting, and then tonight's agenda. I already realized tonight's agenda has the old SHAC roster on page 3, and so I'll cut and paste and fix that and repost it. So I apologize for that. I was using our old template and didn't realize that I didn't have our new roster on there. You can see from the November meeting, I've got the attendance roster up, and I do it with a picture where I list the names of who attended. And that's an easy way for me to do that. And then you can see here that, oops. I'm sorry, hold on guys, let me change it out, there we go. And then you can see also from the November meeting, I've got the agenda and then the meeting minutes, which we'll go over here shortly. And then you also can see that I've got the video as well that goes straight to our YouTube channel, and then it comes up and you can see if you missed the meeting, what we covered. So I'll do the same thing for tonight's meeting. And again, just the agenda is up and it's something you can follow along with so you can see what we're covering. So we're going to kick it off with Rose Kohler introducing any guests and doing the welcome and turning it over to Good Things. So thank you, Rose, for being our SHAC chair, and take it away.
Hello. Do we have any new people on? I can't see the format. Do you know if there's any new ones on? Oh, you're muted, Mr. Truitt. We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, I had to pull it back up. Misty Cook is a guest, our elementary counselor and assistant principal. And she's going to share some information tonight about Camp Careful. So she's a guest. Everybody
Awesome.
else that I see on here are members. Thank you, Kathy Garrick, for joining. I think everybody knows she's our child nutrition coordinator, and she's going to help us with an update on our quest for free breakfast and lunch in the 2022-23 school year. So thank you for being on here tonight, Kathy.
Welcome.
And everyone else are members. So thank you, Misty, and thanks, Kathy. And I'll stop sharing the screen so we can see everybody. There we go. All right, so Rose, keep rolling.
Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is good things. Does anyone want to share any good things that have happened here lately?
Of course, we love good things. Who's got something they'd like to share personally, professionally? I know the counselors just got back from an amazing conference. Does anybody want to share about your new favorite speaker? No? Awkward. Go ahead, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon.
Nah, since I missed it, you're it.
Okay, we heard this amazing speaker's name is Hamish Brewer, and he is known as the skateboarding principal in Virginia, and he has just turned many schools around by his dynamic leadership and fun and heart full of love. He just believes in loving the kids, and that's where it starts. He teaches it, or he is a principal at one of the most difficult schools in Virginia, high poverty, low socioeconomic, and high drug usage, but he's done amazing things, and he's a powerful, passionate speaker, and makes you want to go conquer the world after you hear him speak. So we want him to come to West and speak, not be principal, but speak.
That's awesome. The ladies were sharing before everybody got on about some new poster and theme ideas, and maybe you could come to a convocation, and just sounded perfect as far as what we believe in West ISD and what we're trying to promote with our staff and families. And sounds like y'all had a great time.
He also wrote a book, if you want to look it up, and the title of it is Relentless. And that's kind of his big message, I feel like. That was kind of his big theme message. He was amazing. But even the workshops and stuff I thought were really good. And it was, because we haven't been able to go to conference in a while, it was good for all of our counseling team in general in the evenings to have some downtime and even just talk about kind of things on campuses and stuff like that. So good time.
Good for y'all. I know you guys needed that, so great news. Our basketball teams are continuing our tradition of every team going to the playoffs. Fortunately, our ladies ran into a tough Rice squad last night that had a player that probably had 30 points if I were to add it all up. And so their season came to an unfortunate end. The guys are playing at Troy tonight. We'll be in the playoffs and still trying to figure out against which team and where. Powerlifting has a big invitational this Saturday here in West. The Ag kids are going off to San Antonio, and we had 6 grand champions at the McLennan County show, which I asked Anthony Muir if that was a all-time high, and he had to really think about it. So we had an incredible showing, and our kids earned a lot of cash in the sale. We had our projects go through Friday, and I haven't heard how our projects did at the show, but I'm sure it was just as good. One act plays coming up at the high school, and I know they're going to do an outstanding job. Band's got solo and ensemble, and their fajita dinner coming Saturday. What else? That's what I remember. Jana, do you remember other things? I saw your email with some stuff in it. Did I forget anything?
Not that I can think of. I mean, we have some field testing going on tomorrow.
I said good things. Good things. Field testing is not a good thing.
It's gonna go smoothly and be very organized, so I think that's a good thing. So stop it. Other than that,
STAR field tests are not good things. Let's start a SHAC goal to do away with STAR.
okay, I'm muting and not ever talking again. Bye.
No, you're fine. Kidding. I know you've been spending a lot of time on the field test, so thank you. All right, we got a lot of great things happening. It's hard to believe we have 2 weeks and 3 days left in this 9 weeks, and then we're down to just 9 weeks, and the year will be over. So it's flying by. Monday's a holiday, just as a reminder. Go Presidents. We love you and appreciate your holiday for us. All right, Rose, I guess that was it for good things. I kind of did them all. So what else? Anybody? Going once?
This is Shanna.
Yes.
I have a good thing that I wanted to share with you guys, and
please.
I'm sharing it with you guys a few days before it officially goes public. So the Heart of Texas MHMR is being rebranded, and it is now the Heart of Texas Behavioral Health Network. And so what that means is we now will be providing medical care to the consumers as well as the mental health care that we've been doing.
That is wonderful news. And I'm so glad you're on SHAC to provide that. And we finally have a representative from your field. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So the way that we were able to switch over is because now and I'm reading to make sure I'm saying it correctly, a certified community behavioral health clinic. From what I understand, there's only like 29 of them in the nation. And
Wow.
so, yeah, this is huge. And so CCBHC means care coordination. It's care across all settings and providers to ensure seamless transitions for consumers across the full spectrum of physical health services, both acute and chronic, and behavioral health care. And so here's how you guys can be affected, how the school system, right? Because of this certification and everything, now schools can be trained for free on mental health first aid.
Wonderful. We need it. Is that something you can do for us, or is there a trainer or someone we contact, or?
If that's something that y'all are interested in, I can definitely connect you guys together to get that training set up. And it's something where they can come in and train staff, whoever you want to be certified.
That's good to know. We're doing a threat assessment training on the student side of it coming up on, is it March the 14th, I believe, in the afternoon? And it sounds like this would all fit together. So we're always looking for good stuff. So I'd love to hear more if you'll email it to me.
Okay, I will.
The contact, and I'll give them a call.
Thank you, sir. I
No,
will.
thank you for bringing that up. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, Rose, let's keep rolling.
All right. So the next thing is the minutes, and then action to consider possible action by SHAC to approve the minutes as presented.
All right, I'll share my screen and I'll go to the minutes from last time here. We'll go through them quickly because, of course, you all had a chance to review them ahead of time and have studied them. Oh, no one's saying yes. All right, in the first paragraph, you can see who is in attendance. And then the second paragraph there on my screen, if you're following along, we started with some reminders about legislative mandates, and I covered those again tonight. We introduced two new members who are on tonight. Y'all just met Ms. Robbins again and then Mrs. Clander, both parent reps. Also, though, Ms. Robbins fills our other healthcare piece that we've been looking for. So we appreciate you being on here really in two roles. Rose shared out good things. Miss Kuchera, Nurse Kuchera, mentioned student vaccines were available in West. Mrs. Kohler presented the minutes that were approved. I shared about our health alert data for COVID. We were at 0 cases on this date. We mentioned that we're changing our plan for field trips and in-person concerts and performances to all be allowed again. PPE needs were mentioned, that teachers were requesting wipes for their classrooms, and of course we purchased those since. Mrs. Kohler asked about zoning plan at recess. Nurse Tabola brought up the health fair and Shattered Dreams being postponed due to COVID, but we did, as a SHAC, ask if we could schedule Sean Carter to still come, and we have an update on that tonight. I shared an update on the random student drug testing, that we had 60 recently tested with no positives. I was asked if we could add tobacco to the testing plan, and I don't have an update on that tonight because they asked, I do have pricing and it's very doable, but they won't let us add it until next year. So that's a yes, but just, again, not this year, next. Nurse Tabola brought up the new rapid testing plan from the TEA and how it was shifting after Christmas to Care Start and the Binex Now. We've been using that and it's all online. She scheduled a booster shot clinic through Old Corner Drug. Appreciate Randy and Michelle for hosting that. Ms. Adams shared about the West U session that Mrs. Yannick held about college and career options, FAFSA and other things that she shared. We discussed adding a human sexuality program component in Childhood 2.0 that we're going to talk about tonight. We also wanted to add a Waco Unbound, which we have an update tonight. Ms. Crawshaw asked us to check with other local districts about joining our West U, which we'll do. Chief Overcash talked about the Guardian program. I shared about our desire to add the goal of having free breakfast and lunch for all kids for next year, like we had this year, and we got an update on that tonight. I added the goal to have a, let's see. Oh, there's a requirement that our SHAC must have a mission statement posted. So we worked through the wording you can see there in italics, and that's what we approved. I have it posted on our website now. And Ms. Kohler ended with an update on Helping Hands and how she had extra coats to disseminate, and we adjourned. So those are the minutes. Anybody have questions? If not, we can make a motion. If there's anything wrong, you're not hurting my feelings. If I need to fix it, and I will do so. So anybody? All right, Rose. Okay, Laura. Yeah, take it away, Laura. So Laura, was that a first? You're making the motion? All right, so Laura made the motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
Ooh, I'll take Becky, and I saw her hand, but I think Sharon almost tighter. So we'll just raise our hands, our little boxes, if everybody's good with approving the minutes as presented, and I'll get them posted here tonight later. All right, I see everybody's hands up. We're gonna go with unanimous, if Matt's okay with that. And I'm joking, Claudia and Kathy, I don't think anyone has a problem with the minutes.
Nope, terrible.
All right, great. All right, let's keep rolling.
All righty, so the next thing is the COVID-19 risk mitigation plan report.
All right, that's me again. 0 cases as of today, which is great news. So our students, staff, and families are working super hard. We made it through Omicron and the spike when I had to close down school. We hit 78 cases at that school closure period, and it's great to hear we're down to 0. Our plan actually helped because after that school stoppage period, it dropped in half when we came back. So that was needed, and glad we did it. And we may have to do it again. We'll just see where this goes. I wanted to remind everybody that we did adopt because our parents and families were calling quite often confused about our isolation and quarantine standards and how they were different, and how TEA had adopted different guidelines as well than the CDC with the recent guidelines from them about the 5 days and come back at day 6 with no symptoms and a negative test. And so we went ahead as a district and were bold and adopted that guideline for staff and students. And we went with the recommendation that quarantine is optional unless there's symptoms, and then you shift to isolation when that happens. And it's working for us. And sometimes you do make decisions for your community and your district and don't worry about what everybody else is doing, and it's working for us. And so we're going to keep doing that, and we'll do what's best for our students, staff, and families in West. So our plan is going well. So I'll answer anything I can. You can see in blue, or excuse me, red on the agenda, that if anybody has questions or comments or things they want me to look into related to our COVID-19 guidelines, I'm all ears. Rose, you did ask about the recess plan. I know the elementary is talking about that, and even at first adding it back on Fridays and calling it Fabulous Friday or whatever, Misty, what y'all come up with, and then we're going to see after spring break, since it's just a few weeks away, about bringing it all back. Chuck's turning back on his water fountains. We're going to quit the holding areas. So we're doing a couple of things because we can, and if we got to change things, we'll put it back. So Misty, what is the plan for recess? I'm calling it the wrong thing. Is it Fabulous Fridays?
I think we just said Fun Fridays.
Fun Fridays, yeah.
But yeah, just kind of ease into it like that, just see how it goes. And but they'll be super thrilled, I know.
That's great. Appreciate y'all being open to that. All right, any COVID questions that I can answer? All right, hearing none, let's roll to Roman numeral 5.
So the next thing is going to be SHAC update. So the first one being random student drug testing program, and that is you again, Mr. Truitt.
Yay, all right. I'm honored to speak, thank you. Random student drug testing, we just had our second round of testing and it didn't go as well as my other update from the minutes when we had 0 cases. So we did 60 kids again, but this time we had 4 that tested positive for marijuana. So all are suspended from extracurriculars, all if they could and were driving to campus, they can't any longer, and they're going through our counseling program, work with their families as well. So as a reminder, they have to be tested every time here on out, and we've got another one coming fast. And depending upon that test, we'll see if they move into the tier 2 guidelines or if they're allowed to drive and be a part of the activities again. We did have 2 others that had medical reasons for some things that came back with medications we had on file from their doctors. And so we had 6, just to be transparent with you of how that turned out. So 4 in 1 testing is a high for us. Maybe I shouldn't have said high. 4 is a lot for us, and we've got some work to do there. And let's see what we can do to help them with the dangers of these decisions that they're making. So that's always an open-ended one. If folks have comments or things they want to ask about our program, I'd be happy to answer them.
This is Shanna. I wanted to ask about the counseling because that's something else that can now be provided for free, and they do not have to be a consumer in order to get those, and schools can make the referral to the substance use counselor, which is now at the Claris Center for Families.
I apologize, Ms. Robbins. I was getting some texts about people not being able to get on the Zoom, so I was trying to help them. Will you say that one more time?
I wanted to ask about the counseling that you said is available for
Yes.
the 4 that tested positive.
We have a crisis counselor we hired this year with our ESSER funds. His name's Jimmy Gramella, and he has to meet with them on a weekly basis. I have to ask Sharon exactly what curriculum he's using. But if you have recommendations, Ms. Robbins, I'd be happy to hear them.
So we now have a substance use dependency counselor that is available for kids. They do not have to be a consumer of the Claris Center for Families, and schools can make that referral. And the curriculum that's being used is the SAMHSA Anger Management Workbook. They're finding a lot of kids that are using substances are doing it as coping skills to deal with anger, stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Well, then, like you said earlier, I'd love to hear more about that too. So maybe we even should talk tomorrow. Sounds wonderful. Love to hear more.
Yes, sir.
We've been looking for a curriculum and to add a counseling piece. Y'all have heard Sharon mention that in the past, and adding a crisis counselor this year was a plus in that area. He also meets with our kids that are in our alternative school, and these are regular sessions he's doing. So, but he may be interested in some curriculum options. Am I right, Sharon? I don't want to speak. Okay, she's nodding yes. So we definitely want to talk more about that. So thank you.
Okay. I'll send that information to you as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. We got Miss Adams in now. So I think there she comes up. Okay. Sorry about that. I was trying to do 2 things. I apologize. On the next one, it's perfect timing. Amanda, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're actually at one of your agenda items, talking about Westview, the next one, and how we want to roll out the Childhood 2.0 plan that we talked about previously, and maybe doing it in person since we want to show the documentary.
Yes, excellent. As you guys know, we did a little bit of work last year with Childhood 2.0, but we feel like we want to revisit that and offer it to a bigger audience. We'd like to see if you guys thought it would be a good idea to host it in our auditorium, because last year we weren't able to show the video in person. And therefore, we thought we might be able to do that in our auditorium, show the whole film, and then have the discussion in person instead. We just wanted to get some feedback if you thought that was a good idea or had other ideas on how to best get that info out to our parents and get more people to see Childhood 2.0.
Sorry, my light went out. I'll start the discussion. Since I led the one online, what was challenging about it is getting the folks to watch it ahead of the Zoom, and then the discussion questions being impactful based on what they had watched, because many, or I shouldn't say many, that's not being fair, several had not watched it yet. So now that in our COVID guidelines, we can have these type of events again, I do think it's worth trying to get folks to come watch it, maybe serve popcorn, have drinks or something, and then do the discussion questions after watching it. I think it's worth a try. We can do it over 2 sessions, or we can try it online where they watch it ahead of time and then we jump on the Zoom and the in-person. I'm willing to do anything. I think it's an important message that as many folks as we can reach. So other folks, thoughts?
I like it. I think it's a great idea.
We've kind of earmarked March 1st. We've learned that the week after spring break is not necessarily good for our folks and for an in-person event. So we're thinking trying to get it in on March 1st, if that is agreeable to the group as well.
March 1st is totally open on the district calendar, and that gives us a week and a half. Yeah, if we can really start PRing it, that may not be enough time. Here's the challenge there. It's an 1.5-hour documentary. So if someone's going to join us, they really got to block out some time and watch it.
That is true.
It's 90 minutes. So you really got to commit to being a part of this. So something to think about there is how long the documentary is. So if someone comes that night to Westview, you're probably going to easily be there 2 hours. If we watch it and have a little discussion, it's going to be 6:30 to 8:30. So you're going to have to be committed. That's the one challenge,
Yes,
is the length of it,
Maybe we could even consider, if we think we need a little more time, we could consider late in the week after we get back from spring break. I'd have to look at the calendar to see what was already on it, but open to that as well.
Yeah, I think giving them more notice, since it's an 1.5 hours long, I'm not sure how many we'd have come in a week after publicizing it. Why don't we look at the March dates and we go for it and just see what happens?
Sounds good.
And as previously requested, SHAC, we'll invite St. Mary's and Aquila and Abbott and Mount Calm and Penelope and who else is around us? We'll send it over to Conley. Anybody in our area here, Golson, we'll let them know that we're offering it and see if any of their parents want to come, and we'll just see what happens. That sound good? Everybody's so quiet.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you. keep rolling. All right, so I guess we're on page 2, Rose. I was trying to look at the agenda. Kathy Garrick was going to share the good news about next school year and our snapshot data and our worry if we could continue to do our current program. So Kathy, why don't you share an update on that?
Okay, so in April or March or June, they're going to be releasing who can participate in CEP, which is the community eligibility, which would let us, all of our students, eat for free for breakfast and lunch. And when that data is posted, then I will be able to fill out the application. If we can't go that route, we are also be able to maybe go through the census route, which West is on the census that we could go still for free, but it also depends on the number of students. The more more students, the parents fill out the application, the better it is for us. I think Amanda said that the percentage we have right now is 40.7. Is that correct, Amanda?
Yes.
Yes,
I'll answer.
on
Oh.
snapshot day. That's right. Yep. Sorry. Thanks, David.
Nope, I'm sorry.
So as soon as that comes out, which will be in April or June, I will be able to let y'all know if we can be on free meals for the lunch and breakfast.
Kathy, just so the SHAC understands, so it's obviously our goal is all kids, both meals, whoever wants it will provide it for free, which is just incredible for the community that we're able to do it this year because everyone was allowed to do it. And now it's back to the old guidelines for next year. So it was a one-time thing and we've fallen in love with it. And so have our kids and families.
Sorry.
So if we're on 40 this year, it doesn't matter. We got to stay on 40 for next year, correct? So we got to get everybody that signed up this year back with probably some cushion just in case.
Correct. I know in the past they let you stay on it for so many years. I believe the last one was up to 4 years. But with everything changing, I'm not for sure on how many years they're going to keep it this time, but it should be about 4 we can stay on it as long as our data stays the same or close to it.
All right, does it have to be 40? I'm just checking because we got to do a big SHAC PR push then in Spanish and English to get all those forms back so we can do this for everybody because everybody benefits. We just give 40%, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so if we hit
At
it
all
this year,
schools.
we can hit it next year, all schools. All right, so, all right, we're on it. This is a big one for me. And I think it's important we do this for our community. So let's figure this out. So appreciate the update, Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have questions about that program that we can answer? I know it's odd that we were allowed to do it for 1 year and now that's period's over and it's a wonderful thing. So let's make this happen. Also, we've been talking to Kathy about our summer feeding, June and July, and what we can do for families during our summer programs. And so we've got some new ideas we're going to share with y'all at our next SHAC. And of course, Rose and our other parents are doing a fabulous job with the backpack program. Counselors are helping with that too. So we've got a lot of neat things we've got going. All right, on the Waco Unbound program, I'll be Chuck a minute. We set the goal to schedule them to come talk to our high school kids, and we got the date. And as you can see on the agenda, all administrators and counselors did the training module back on Tuesday, January 4th, when we returned from the Christmas break. I can tell you, because I attended it, it was fabulous. I learned a lot. I even have the handout still right here on my desk. Really good information, hotline number, data that I've been using in some presentations. And now the coolest piece, we want to, of course, bring it back to a West U because it was one of our best ones we did in the previous year. But we're going to share the Waco Unbound program with all of our high school kids. So in our auditorium coming up here this Friday at 8:50, 9 o'clock-ish, I believe, is the time when that's going to happen. And I think it's going to be a great moment in the life of our high school. So we'll let you know how it goes. If any SHAC members want to come see it, we'd be happy to check you in and let you come. So let us know. But we're excited that it's going to happen this week. Does anybody have a question about that? For our parents, it's about human trafficking and what to watch for and the dangers and the signs and the statistics and what's happening here in the Waco, Central Texas area, that it's real, and how we can help combat it. So it's really good info. It's really the similar stuff to the Childhood 2.0. It's just a condensed version with a guest speaker. And so it's really the same messages. So I like how everything is tied together. Okay. All right. Y'all are like very quiet tonight. All right. When Sean Speaks program, I'm going to let Terry share because she's the one that we challenged with getting this scheduled. So Sean's coming, and tell us about it, Terry.
Okay, Sean is coming on March the 24th, and I'm sorry, what did I say? Yeah, March the 24th. It's going to start at 9 o'clock. So at 8:50, Chuck asked me, and I couldn't remember from the last meeting, is it just for high schoolers, or are we going to invite the 8th graders also?
I haven't heard. We can do either. I assumed it was just high school, and I shouldn't have assumed.
Okay.
That. Well, 8th grade, we'll talk about it.
Okay. And it's coming before the prom. And so I talked to Jenny Carter, which is the mom. They have moved to Houston now, no longer living in A&M, at Texas A&M and College Station. But they're excited about coming. She told me today, which is great news, that he is sitting in a chair now, out of his wheelchair. So he's gotten better, but he's still got a long way to go. And to hear someone that's been sitting in a wheelchair the whole time, it's a good feat. I mean, I'm excited for him to see him because it's been a long time. I think they came probably about 14 years ago. It was before my time. So, but they'll be here, and it shouldn't last more than an hour. Any questions about them?
I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be powerful. And like you said, we were trying to schedule it before our prom on April 9th. And so mission accomplished. He has a powerful story to tell, and I think it'll resonate with our kids. And maybe they would think about consequences of drinking and driving on a night like prom. And I appreciate you scheduling that. Again, if any of y'all want to see it, SHAC members, we'd be happy to let you see Sean in action. So appreciate that, Terry. Any questions about Sean? All right, Rose, we're on new business.
Sweet. So new business. Terry, it's back to you for the AED replacement plan.
Okay. Mr. Truitt, do you mind putting up the slide? Y'all don't laugh. I tried to do it on my husband's computer and I couldn't get it done. So he's helping out.
The AED presentation, this one?
Yes.
All right. Is it showing?
Yeah, so just do the slide.
Okay, we're good. This is it?
This is it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. As of the AED program, I'm just going to give you a little background on information on it, because it's just not sticking an AED in a building. It's not that. So there's a Senate bill that has been passed. It's 199. It has eliminated the liability from anyone that uses the AED. So now a healthcare professional, it kind of throws them out. We're not falling underneath this. But as far as the businesses, it is. And I think the biggest part is that they want everyone to feel comfortable using the AED, because in the back of your mind, you're thinking, what if it doesn't work? And then I'm responsible for it. Well, if the AED doesn't work, there is no liability against the facility or the individual using it. And there is a catch-22 that with the facilities, we have to follow a guideline, which is a monthly inspection. So, and I'll get into detail with that, but can you just, next slide? Okay, with the detail of, this is just a little bit of what is documented every month. and I mean, not every month, but we check it. And I'll show you our draft that we use. And it's a lot of information, but we basically have to know what's inside of our AED. If there's any, we have to know the lot number, where the AED is located. It can't be moved from one place to the other. So if it's located in the cafeteria, that AED needs to stay in the cafeteria. And there's a expiration date on the pads, expiration date on the batteries. There's expiration dates, and the pads are different, and it goes into it's a lot more detail. So, and go to the next slide. Okay, can you show me the Excel sheet? No, go back. The Excel sheet, the one that's on, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's the
yeah, okay.
Excel sheet. I can talk about this real quick and then go to the Excel sheet. Okay.
You're good. Hold on.
Got this.
There we go. I got it. Here we go. This?
Yes. Okay. Go to the third bottom little tab. On the very bottom, it says AEDs. It's on the very bottom next to responders.
There we go. Colorful.
Okay. This is what we use. And if you notice, I'm very color coded. All the gray are, and this is just details, but what we keep up with is that, and the reason I'm pushing this is we've got some AEDs that are really old. And the ones in gray, in the gray color, are the original ones from when I first started there. In the very top, if you'll just scroll to the right to where it gets longer, every little tab there is what I have to keep up with. And each AED, it has, like I said, expiration dates, and we have to keep track. So when we start purchasing these, just because I have all the AEDs there, it doesn't mean that it's going to cost us all that much money at one time. So the AEDs that we have now, go back to the left, to your left.
Like that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, keep going. Okay, if you stop right there, if you look at all these AEDs that are listed right here, this date manufactured, the ones that are in gray, we have some that are 22 to 15 years old.
Mm. So
when I talked to Zoe, they said that the warranty is up to, some of them, depending on what AED you get, is between 7 to 8 years, 6 to 7 to 8 years. It necessarily doesn't mean that you need to switch your AED out. And these have all had their updates and they're still working, but longevity wise, I think 22 years is a long time. So, and that's just kind of like what I wanted to show y'all. So if you'll go back to the next slide, to the other slide, the original SHAC slide.
Okay, this?
No, the SHAC AED presentation. Yeah, that one.
No,
okay, so when we started looking at what we were going to need right now, I just go to the very top one, the first floor. No, the first floor, number 4, slide 4.
Okay, sorry, I think it's frozen. 1 second.
Okay.
Not this one.
The slide 4.
Exit full screen. Hold on.
That's okay. If you just click the slide 4, it should come up.
Just click slide 4. Someone help me. What do you mean?
There's right on the left-hand side. Well, it's the 4. Can you see it?
I know. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. My box of you guys was in the way. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. This is the plat of the school, and
there we go.
This is just a suggestion because this is how we set up the high school. And I haven't seen the school, so I was just looking at the floor plan. But the gym, the shelter is going to need one. The cafeteria is going to need one. And then the first floor is where the stairs are. And if you go to the next one, that's 4. And then as far as what's on our left, is that an open area right there? There's no
Nope.
other rooms on top of the cafeteria?
No, those are two-story classroom or
Okay.
two-story. That's cafeteria in the gym, so two-story rooms.
Right. And so there's 6, you're seeing 6 right here, and there's always one kept in the nurse's office for field trips. So there's 6. So if you'll go to the next slide. So there's a total that we're needing, that we need to, actually there's 25 AEDs in the whole district. Right now, there's 7 West Elementary AEDs. We have 4, so we're going to need to purchase 3 more. And then with the new, I guess with the ones that we have 9 AEDs that are 15 to 22 years old. So that's what we're looking at purchasing. So, and I speculate, you can go to the next slide, Mr. Truitt.
Wait, before you do, because this is a SHAC thing. So how many you need? We need 3 through the bond
We need
for
to
the
purchase 3
elementary.
brand new.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, no problem.
And
We can get
9
those.
and 9 to replace the ones that are 15 to 22 years old.
Okay, so not 18.
that's
That's
just
not what that
something-
means. 9. So we need 12 total for next year. 12 new
Yes.
ones. 12 new ones. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm following you. We can get that done.
Okay. And then also you're going to need the boxes, but here's a breakdown of what it's going to cost.
Okay.
Okay. Right now we have 22. And then when we add the school, we're going to add 3 more. So like I said, we're going to have to replace the 9 from ages 15 to 22 years old, which is 12 Zolls that we're going to need. The estimated cost is $12 to $13.75, depending on the inflation rate. So the cost of 12 is $15,300 or $16,500, and it could go up, or we may be able to get a different discount. With the new AEDs, they don't come with pads. So with the new 3 AEDs, we're just going to have pads on those, PD pads. So that's another $297. And then I speculate with the storage alarms, you are having the same kind the West High School have, or are they going to be attached to the fire alarms?
Same kind as the high school has. Where the
Okay.
boxes have the alarm. Yeah.
Okay. So basically this is probably the gist of it. And I know that also, you can go to the next slide.
Okay.
Once we buy them, there is a discount. Zoe will give us a trade-in. And this is what one of the companies sent me, because I've gotten 3 estimates. And we should get a replacement cost of the ones that we have. Now, I don't think the 22-year-old Samaritan's one will get anything for. So, but that's just, you could subtract whatever the 15,000 from, I'll have to figure that up. Actually, the company that we buy it from will do that for us, and they'll subtract it from the amount.
Okay.
So next slide. Okay, monitoring plans. We have our own system at the school. So everything that we do is up to, it's up to everything that, because I've had other companies that I've talked to, and I've also sent it through the Zoe AED Plus rep, and we're under guidelines. We follow guidelines. But there are companies out there, since we're getting a little bigger, there are companies out there that have monitoring plans, and some of them have different names, but this specific one, it's called the Light Service Plan. They will send someone out and they will charge $440 plus $55 if they have a PD pad. So basically, we have 13 AEDs that have PDs, and with PD pads, with adult pads, and they charge $495 per AED per year. So they charge $6,435. And then we have 12 that is just with this regular adult. It's $5,280. And some of y'all are probably thinking, why don't we have PD pads on all of them? Well, there's a 55-pound limit basically that you can use. They recommend that if you're 55 pounds and above, you can go ahead and use an adult. In most of the places that we have just the adult ones, there's no reason to get a PD pad, is what the AED rep said. It's like, you won't ever use it because there's hardly any. And if it is someone and they're under 55 pounds, you can wrap the AED around them and still use it. So the total cost for this life plan that they come out and do is $11,715. Whereas what we do, as far as that Excel sheet that we do, basically the cost of what we do depends on what expires that year. So basically, Joan and I send out a budget and I give it to her for the next year. And I tell her this is what's expiring. So basically all we pay for now is what we replace in the pads. And it ranges from $2,000 to $3,500. Now that we got some more, it might be $3,600. But like this year, it's going to be small. There's hardly any that I have to replace this year. I'm way below budget. Next year, it'll be above budget. So basically, this is it. So anyway, I just wanted you to just know this as far as, but basically there are plans, but our plan, what we do is basically everything they do. So, and that's it, basically. You can get out of that one. I don't need the other slide. You can skip over it.
Isn't it about, didn't you want to share though about Stop the Bleed?
Yes, go about Stop the Bleed. We do the whole district, and it's at the beginning of the year, and we do training. We usually go through Heart of Texas to do our training, and they usually come with our with the Stop the Bleed kit. This year, they did not come because of COVID, and it almost left us in a pickle. So what we did is we used just foam, I guess pool foam from pools. And but what I'm asking for is we need to somehow be set up for our districts. We can do it on our own and not have to depend on anyone. This is called, it's a training kit, and this combat kit. And it has a little styrofoam, and it comes with like all the equipment you need to do Stop the Bleed. Basically, when we did our training with them, we had 4. So I'm just hoping that maybe there is some available that we can get some of this training material for our district, since it's for the whole district. And this is one area this is one little, most of them are about $900. This is the cheapest one that I found. And then you can go to the next one. And this is another one, but it's a lot flimsier, and we basically don't need all the blood because that'd be too messy. That just looks like a noodle. So those are $99. So basically we need 4 to do our whole district along, because we have our AEDs, our trainers, and we have our Heimlich maneuvers, the Heimlich, the people that put on the Heimlich vest. So that is something to consider for our health and safety of our staff.
All right, so you want me to put on the next agenda the purchase for those kits? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely a need, and we would then self-train internally without having the folks come in that came this year.
Correct. And then, right. And then probably I would like to get actually certified. So go through some trainings. And then once I'm certified, I can train everyone else there to do it. Like Loretta and Victoria, and even train some of the coaches.
And train the trainer.
Mm-hmm.
That's good news. Okay. Yeah, we want you to be certified.
So,
Perfect.
So it's up to you to decide which ones you want. You want the better ones, and that's something to discuss with Joanna and you.
We can totally do the 400.
Okay.
If that's, we have that. We're just going to take it out of your nursing budget.
I don't have any left. I spent it all.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just full of jokes tonight. All right. No, we'll find it. That's very important. We need to make sure we have those kits ready for new teacher and back to school in service in August, so we can get that. We'll put it on the SHAC agenda and approve it and get it purchased. Okay.
And do y'all have any questions about the AED program, about purchasing them?
It's a lot of documentation. I didn't even know you were keeping all that on that spreadsheet. So good job. I know that's a lot of work.
And they have to be inspected every year, once a year, and you have to take them and break them down, and you have to, and they've already had some electronic, and we've done some computer updates on them too, if there's any kind of a recall. So they're all up to par.
I'm surprised those that are 22 years old are allowable.
Well, when I talked to the rep today, he said, and sounds terrible, but he said that they're finding out that a lot of people have a lot of older ones, and it's because they don't break down. It's just how they're made. The newer ones that people are buying are lasting 6 years and they die. So they're not, they stop working. So
good info, very thorough. Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome.
SHAC, did y'all have any questions about her plan to purchase new AEDs for the new elementary and replace some across the district? And then how about the Stop the Bleed training kits and the plan to get the nurses and our trainer trained to lead the West ISD training? So I like that plan. Anybody? Okay, crickets chirping. All right. All right, next, I'm doing your job, Rose. I did it again. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. So the next thing is Misty for the Careful Child Abuse Prevention Program at elementary.
Yes, and I will try to make this quick. But Miss Bryan and I have talked a lot. She really wanted to be here tonight. She had Boy Scouts. But she and I have talked a lot about Mr. Truitt, about just all the dangers our students at our campus are facing, all campuses, but and the situations, the unhealthy and dangerous situations that they're exposed to, and how it can affect them socially, emotionally. We've noticed even recently with some situations we've had at our campus, we're getting we get questions, and our students are so trusting of adults. And we just feel like that it's just showed us that we need to do something to prepare them to know how to protect themselves in unsafe situations, protecting their body, and know the tools that they need to have to say no. And so we've looked into some different programs. One of them we really like is Camp Careful. And I'm not sure, some of you may be familiar with Camp Careful, but Camp Careful is an amazing program that was developed by Dr. Sue Battle. She's a pediatrician in Waco, a well-known and well-loved pediatrician, and she works very closely. She works for the Advocacy Center, works very closely with them, she does medical examinations for the children who allege sexual abuse. She's a medical advisor for the agency. She's been on many boards throughout the community. Anyway, she developed this program called Camp Careful, where she teaches children, littles all the way to high school, just how to protect their bodies and how to advocate for themselves. Personally, my two boys, we used to go to church. Dr. Crowder, go to church with her in Waco. And she did the program at our church some. And so both of my boys have been through the program when they were little. And it was just amazing. And it opened up many conversations that we wouldn't have had, uncomfortable conversations, but well needed. And now she is doing programs in schools. Locally, I know Midway ISD has done them, and recently Lorena has had her come in and do programs with the students there. They did it pre-K through high school, but we were really wanting us to look into her coming maybe to our elementary. The way she kind of does it is she does a parent night first, and talks to the parents that are interested in their children coming, kind of gives them an overview of what she's going to say. She uses lots of humor. She makes it fun for the kids, but she does tell them, how to handle these different situations. She talks mostly with pre-K through 6 about body safety and body autonomy. So when she talks to the parents, and then usually like the next week she comes to do assemblies at the school, and she does them in smaller groups. She wouldn't do obviously all of pre-K through 5th at our campus. She would break it up into smaller groups. They are 30-minute sessions. I'd have to talk to her a little more about numbers. She had a hard time getting back to me, but she got back to me recently. So I'm gonna talk to her more about the groups. But anyway, we just really liked the idea of her coming and speaking to the kids. That's what she's used to. She's a pediatrician. I mean, she does this a lot, but personally I've seen her do it, and she's amazing. And I think it would be super beneficial for our students here. And anyway, that's just something I kind of wanted to bring to the table. We feel like there's a lot going on these days that we need our children to know how to protect themselves. We want parents to have the tools to know what to tell their children, how to protect themselves too, and what to watch for, the dangers that they have to watch for, and bring awareness and support to them as well. So anyway, that's kind of it in a nutshell. I know, like, cost-wise, her parent program, the parent night is like $150 for a parent assembly. At Lorena, when they had it in December, they had about 80 parents come on parent night. And then she came the following week and did, I'm just not sure how many sessions. I need to find out that information, but it's 150 to 200 for each assembly that she does with the groups. And like I said, I need to find out more because she's gonna get back to me about that. But anyway, that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm sure you have questions. I will answer them if I can. If not, she has a website, campcareful.com, but she also has a Facebook page, Camp Careful, and it's Dr. Sue Battle, SOO Battle. So any questions that you have right now?
I love that it has the parent component, and that we cover all grades. This has been a missing piece to our SHAC framework. You know, we're talking about Unbound Waco for high school, and we want to bring it to middle school, and this fills a need, a necessity at the elementary. And I'm glad you've used it in your other districts you've been in and have seen it as a parent and staff member, and think it would be great for our kids. I think our parents will love that we would add something of this nature to our curriculum. And of course, there's opt-outs if necessary. You know, nowadays you have to opt in, is the way the state does it, but we can definitely get the word out and let people review the curriculum. I think it'd be great. Anybody else have a comment? Obviously this is a SHAC initiative, so we'd have to approve this, and that's why it's down as an action item. If you want more time to review the program, or you know, in essence, of course, we trust Misty and that she's seen it, and would be a good thing for our campus, and so we can get this rolling if we'd like to tonight. Questions?
I think it's great. I think that it's important to introduce this stuff young. I love the parent piece. I mean, I'm all for it right now. So.
All right, if there's no other questions, if someone would like to make the motion to approve Camp Careful, sorry, it's tongue tie, we'll get exploring it and see what we can do to get it scheduled.
I motion to approve it.
Thank you, Rose. Is there a second? Sorry, I was writing. Who was that? Oh, I see John's fingers. All right. John. Using the fingers. Plural. I didn't say finger. Great. All right. Let's vote. So all in favor of Misty exploring Camp Careful, please raise your hand. All right. Anybody opposed to Camp Careful? All right, great. Unanimous. All right, I'm excited. Let's see what we can do about getting this scheduled. Would it be this year or next year? What would we be scheduling? Now, immediately?
It'd be this year. She said get her some dates that are available. So I don't know if we're thinking March or if that's too much since we're already looking at maybe the Unbound piece in March. So I don't know if we can push it to April or whatever y'all think. We can work with that.
It's probably going to be based on her schedule. So check and see. And would this be an annual, or does it build, or would it be the same thing each year and it's just a refresher? How does it work?
Yeah, it would be probably, if you did it annually, it would be the same thing. I'm sure. I'm not sure. I know that she encourages you to go back. Like I think about my own children, they were little at that time and I would love for them. That's a whole different talk at, that their ages now. So she does do just, I mean, if we ever want to think about high school, with the 7th through 12th, she talks about consent laws, sexting, and internet safety. That's kind of her focus for that, as well as body safety. So
Perfect. Yeah, we might look at her for a secondary component too. Okay. Thank you, Misty. All right, I have D. Wanted to form a SHAC subcommittee. In sitting in these weekly construction meetings at our new elementary, there's been several safety features of the building that have come up, and I know some of you are passionate about these topics. And so I just wanted to throw out a sign up opportunity that if you guys want to respond to my emails that I send out about the SHAC meetings, just say, hey, I'm interested in these topics. I would love to Zoom with the district architect. We're going to schedule an upcoming session where we're going to talk about ballistic window film for the new campus and the windows on the front of the school along with the front office area. And it led to a discussion about we need to do it at middle school, high school, as well. And so if you'd like to hear about what different companies are offering and what the film does in stopping bullet penetration in the areas I just mentioned, a lot of different products out there. Would love for you to take part in that and help guide us in that decision. Also, we're looking at several classroom door lockdown devices at the elementary, but also this has led to discussions that it needs to be available at the middle school, high school as well. And so if you'd like to be a part of that, of course, the doors lock, and that's a great first deterrent, but obviously many districts have added a second layer in addition to the door being locked to keep entry from happening in the classrooms in case of an active shooter. And then we've talked about at the middle school, high school, how those shared classrooms that open into the collaborative spaces have the sliding doors that you literally can just push on and they open. So we've talked about something that goes into the wall that locks those in place, and then putting this ballistic window film on the frosted windows as one more layer of protection. And so, yes, all these things I'm mentioning are expensive, but you put a price tag on safety. We've got to do these things. And so we want to get everything in place for the next school year, if not sooner. And then you heard the AED plan. Obviously, those are budget things as well. Terry presented it well tonight. And so I think we have the gist, and she can go over that again for interested folks about what we need to purchase. So if this is an area or a passion of yours, please email me back, and I'd love to include you in those discussions. They're all open meetings, and love to include SHAC members, and we can present out at our next SHAC meeting the final decisions in these areas. And I should add, if there's anything else, safety and security of our buildings you want to add to this list, obviously I'm open. So maybe you've noticed something as a parent or a staff member where you're like, Truett, add this to the list, and we'll figure it out. I'd like to report also from our safety audit with the state, the last finding is the signage on our campuses, the prohibited acts that they have to be in Spanish, and we did order them. And as soon as they get here, we'll put the Spanish version of those signs right underneath the English ones that we've added to the campuses. And Matt's working on Officer Overcash with Mr. Noors about hanging them on the entrances to our athletic fields. So we'll get those up as well. right, Rose, if no one has any questions about those items, we're on Roman numeral 7.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions about anything that was discussed today or tonight, this evening?
There's one chat. Appreciate Jana answering Tanya. Yeah, Tanya, it's a challenge because obviously we're targeting a segment of our community that meets the guidelines from free and reduced lunch. And we don't always get them back. And that's the 40% we need when we actually believe that number is closer to 60 in our community, maybe even over that amount. So if we can just get the 40, but there are many benefits to it for families in need. For families that don't qualify, I know Sharon mentioned last time that there's fees that can be waived for kids and things. We can just get them in it. But I get what you're saying. If you don't meet the home finance threshold, you're filling it out in vain and sharing things that you don't need to share because you're not going to qualify. So we got to educate folks on what that is so that we can make sure we're targeting the correct ones. It's hard when we just send it to the masses and then people are like, what is this? And when there's families we're targeting for this, we got to figure out how to do that best and have it in Spanish.
Just remember, they don't have to fill it out and we cannot make them fill it out.
That's correct. We got to share the benefits and get them to return it. In this case, if you think about it, the benefit is every kid in our community, or excuse me, our district gets to eat breakfast and lunch free. So we've got to share that message, just get them in and let's get to that 40% mark and let's get free food to our community. I can't think of a greater benefit, and hopefully that will appeal to everyone to turn it in. Other questions? If you think about our wheel for SHAC and all the different areas, is there anything anybody has a question about? I guess it'd be the spokes on the wheel. Okay. All right. Rose, did you have any closing thoughts?
No, thank you all for presenting tonight. I think everyone did a great job. It was super informative. That was a lot of information, the AED and all the other stuff. Camp Careful, that's so cool.
Careful, yeah, that's gonna be awesome. And I hope you guys saw the benefits of this committee and that y'all asked us in November to get some of this stuff organized and scheduled. And now tonight I can tell you, here's the date, here's the time. We did what you asked us to do. So I hope you're seeing the benefits of this group and that stuff's getting done. And I'm really excited about our work. Still a lot to be done. So keep asking and we'll keep working. And we appreciate Rose's leadership. Next meeting's in March. And so we're going to keep working on these new things and we'll bring back more updates. That March one will have a comprehensive needs assessment feel where we review every SHAC program that we put in place since we reorganized our SHAC, and we're going to see how each program's going. And we're going to send out surveys to see how folks think each thing is going and see if we need to make any adjustments. And then it's also our chance to gather feedback from the community, staff, and students on potential new SHAC initiatives. And that's usually where we get some of our best ideas is from the survey. And Amanda leads that now that we see her picture. So Amanda will get all that scheduled. So so that's it, Chair Rose. All right. All right, hearing no other questions, appreciate y'all being with us tonight. We ran a little over, not bad. Have a good evening, and I'll get the video in minutes, and I'll adjust the agenda and get it all posted and send that out. And I'll send reminders a little earlier this time. The February one snuck up on me, and I'm sorry for the late reminder I sent out. So I'll get you the March one sooner. Go SHAC. Go save Trojans.
Mr. Truitt?
Yes, Terry.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
Terry
learn
wants
how
to
to do-
extend the meeting.
I'm going to learn how to do my own slideshow. Next one.
I
The
love
next
that
SHAC
goal.
meeting, I'm going to do my own.
That is a good goal. All right. I'll help you. All right. Appreciate you guys. Y'all take care.